Hi, Taurus Sun and Rising. Welcome to your September 2022 Astro Update. It's Raina here. Well, September should be an enjoyable month for Taurus people because the Sun begins the month in a very fun area of the chart, the fifth house. This is the area of love, creativity, both of which you are all about. Taurus being ruled by Venus. I've always wondered why Venus doesn't rule the fifth house because it seems like the fifth house was tailor made for Venus because it's also the house of pleasure. And in addition to love and creativity, which, I totally associate with Venus, the true ruler of the fifth house is the sun. And it rules Leo, and yet I feel like for you you're going to be really you're going to be feeling like a Leo. You're going to be playful. And it's funny to me thinking about this coming in September because that tends to be a vibe, at least for people in the northern hemisphere who are coming off of the summer and coming off of that sense of fun and freedom, that we're getting back to work more. We're getting back to school for some people. It's really weird because astrology is really geared to the northern hemisphere since the fifth house and Leo, I think it would be considered like a summer house because Leo is a summer sign, being in late July to late August. And yet, what about the people down under for whom this is winter? How do you deal with all of these depictions of the signs associated to certain seasons? That must be a little bit strange. I don't really get that, but anyway, yeah, so it should be a lot of fun. And then on the 5th, Venus joins the party, so that could really talk about romance. And I should note, because I haven't, I'm recording this before the new moon in Virgo, and so let me say this for the people that are listening in August, that the new moon in Virgo is August 27th. And so this is going to be at 4 degrees of Virgo in that fifth house. So that can speak about new beginnings when it comes to creative pursuits and love. And so Venus just kind of adds to that influence because that can be about love or creativity or maybe both. If you're in an art class with somebody and you fall in love with them, then there you go. That's awesome. I have a couple of things here that I think are a little bit screwed up. I think that the Mercury retrograde is actually happening on the 9th where I live, but I put the slash 10th because it might be for some of you on September 10th. I say might because I don't have my ephemeris right here. I just am looking at my notes. So around that time of the 9th, Mercury goes retrograde at 8 degrees of Libra, almost 9 degrees of Libra. So Libra for you, Taurus, is your 6th house of work. A Mercury retrograde here can see some kind of misunderstanding or, like a miscommunication that occurs in the workplace, okay? And sometimes, as we know, with people in general, we may have a misunderstanding and it just blows up into something that we did not intend for it to do so. So you heard it here first. If there are any rumblings already that you're dealing with, you know that you can keep them to a minimum so that it doesn't get as bad as it could get, because it might just be something minor and you can resolve it easier. But it could be rethinking your work. Is your service to others something that is bringing you joy? Because the fifth house can be joy. And it's going to go back into that fifth house. And when it does, it's going to be going back into this area of pleasure. The date it goes back into Virgo is the 23rd of the month, just to let you know. So also, the fifth house can be the business that you own. So you might be like, I'm so tired of having my words twisted around. I'm so tired of having to go back and forth with these people and feel like I'm a beggar for getting a raise. I'm just going to work for myself. And you might not say, I'm going to quit, because you still want to bring in money, but you're starting to think, what kind of business do I want to have? So on the 17th, on the 10th of the month, we have a full moon at 17 degrees of Pisces. And this for you, Taurus, is your 11th house of hopes and wishes. So that's really exciting, because you might have one of your desires or wishes or long-range goals, whatever you want to call them, come to fruition. Also, this is the house of gains. So a full moon can mean that your harvest has come in, and this might be the harvest moon, come to think of it, because it's in September. I don't know if it's this one or the one in October. But yeah, I think the rule is the one that's closest to the equinox. I don't know. But anyway, it could be something really good. This is also the house of friendships. So you may find that a friendship is that you're kind of distancing yourself from that person. You feel like maybe you see them in a different light, and you don't really think that you have much in common anymore, or that you just hear news about a friend. On the 22nd or 23rd, wherever you live, the sun goes into Libra, so it's going into that 6th house. And this is when you get down to brass tacks. You've had your fun, and now you're more into organizing your life and things of that nature. So that might be something where you're just getting more serious about what's going on in your life. And that can be great for work matters, where you're just more organized and things like that. Now remember that Mercury is retrograding at this point. So moving forward with like a new job and things like that might be something that it takes a couple of more weeks to sort out. And that might be what's happening too with Mercury retrograding, is that you're hearing back from an employer that when it's in the 6th house, you're hearing back from an employer that you put some application in or sent a resume 6 months ago, and you kind of forgot all about it, and then they call you. And just to let you know, too, that Mercury retrogrades can be a time when you hear back from an old lover. When it's in your 5th house, starting on the 23rd, this may be especially true. On the 25th, there is a new moon at 2 degrees of Libra in that 6th house. Again, the manifestation of these new beginnings may come later on, but it could be starting the ball rolling, a catalyst. You may be doing new health routines to feel more, just to get back up to speed, new diet, what have you. On the 29th, Venus goes into the 6th house. I always joke about this. I call it the Vitamix transit. When Venus, you rule, Taurus rules the 2nd house, that Venus is the ruler of, because that's your ruler. And Venus is money, but it can be luxury items. So things that you don't necessarily need, but you want. When luxury items cost more money than average, don't they? So when you're looking at it from that perspective, this could be in this area of health, and you're buying something that is pricey to improve your health. I'm not getting paid by Vitamix, but I can say that it's a wonderful blender. I think I've had mine for 10 or 11 years, and usually I would replace cheapo $50 blenders every 2 years or so. So multiply that by, 5 times or 6 times, and you can see that a $400 blender isn't so crazy after all, or whatever it is, even if it's $500. But, I understand people don't always have that lying around for extra money sometimes. Yeah, I mean, you might even be motivated to some kind of diet for the reasons of looking better. Taurus could certainly be doing things for that reason, being ruled by Venus. But and that's an okay motivator. I'm not saying that it's not, but also another thing to look at is how you feel, because to me, ultimately, that's what it's all about. Sometimes people have an unrealistic concept or image of what they want to look like, and that can be a bit of a distortion, and then when they can't achieve it, they get very discouraged. But if you focus more on how you feel, like feeling like you have more energy, feeling like you have more flexibility, that your joints aren't aching, and you have more endurance and things like that, I mean, that's amazing. So please, look at it from that perspective as well. And when Venus is in the sixth house, that could mean money coming to you from your place of employment. So if you have been in salary negotiations, that might be the time period within the next few weeks that you get a raise. And remember, or maybe I didn't say, but I'm sorry, Mercury is going direct. I think it's like October 2nd, so it's right after this transit. So that does seem to suggest some sort of settlement as it pertains to people's earning potential. Okay, that's what I have for you, Taurus. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double readings, my deep dive readings, which are an hour of natal chart analysis with an hour of important transits for the next 12 months at a special price. It's a package deal, so it's a 2-hour reading at least in total. And same with the whole enchilada, which is a full-length tarot reading and a full-length chart analysis for a special price. You can find out more information at the link below. Thank you for watching or listening. I guess it's listening when you're listening to an audio. Take care. Bye.